Good afternoon. This is HorseRacingNation.com handicapper Jared Horak. This is our final Derby prep this year, and we're going to do the Arkansas Derby. But before that, let's look back at last week. We had a big week on our video last week. We did 3 races. We did the Bluegrass, the Whitmore Memorial, and the Santa Anita Derby. We had the exacta in the Bluegrass. We suggested to play a $5 exacta with Brody's Cause and My Man Sam. I think it paid $65 for a couple bucks. We also played an exacta box, or we suggested playing an exacta box of Exaggerator and More Spirit in the Santa Anita Derby. We hit that one as well. And then our final wager, we said play $10 to win on Matt King Cole in the Wood Memorial. He ended up setting the pace. He was stubborn. He hung in there throughout, but he ended up finishing 4th, beaten about 2.5 lengths. So we had that big week, and now we go back to Oaklawn Park, and we've had some success on these videos at Oaklawn Park for the Derby preps as well. In the Southwest Stakes, we suggested playing 20 to win in place on Synchrony, but his coupled stablemate, Suddenbreakingnews, who's running in the Arkansas Derby, he won that one, so he bailed us out that day. And then in the Rebel Stakes, we suggested playing an exacta of Cupid and Whitmore, and it came in that way, so we were able to hit the Rebel. Now let's finish strong with these Derby preps, and let's give out a winning wager in the Arkansas Derby. It'll be the 11th race from Oaklawn Park on Saturday, April 16th. 3-year-old, 9 furlongs on the main track, 12-horse field. Number 1 is Discreetness. He was my live long shot in the Rebel Stakes. He really didn't fire his best shot. He didn't get a great start that day. He did make a bit of a move to get in minor contention in the stretch. Flattened out. Not a huge effort on his part. In the Southwest Stakes prior to that, he was out in post 14. He had a bad trip. He won the Smarty Jones prior to that at Oaklawn. So he's capable on his best day of being competitive. Don't know if he's quite good enough to win, but he's one you could use in your exotics. Cut a corner at 50 to 1, number 2 for trainer Jack Van Berg. He was 8th in the Rebel Stakes, 9th in the Southwest Stakes from post position 10. He drew well, but he's overmatched. His other 2 stakes races just weren't competitive, so he's in a tough spot. Creator, number 3 at 10 to 1 morning line. This one's a big late runner. He rallied to finish 3rd in the Rebel Stakes. He is improving. He has 7 lifetime starts with 1 win, 4 seconds, and 1/3. Took him a while to break his maiden, certainly getting better. He needs a big pace meltdown for his best running, and I think he could hit the board, but it needs to completely fall apart for him to win. Suddenbreakingnews is number 4. He's 5 to 1 morning line. He was 5th in the Rebel Stakes from post position 14. He had a wide trip, a rough trip that day. He had some traffic problems, a lot of trouble. But before that, he did win the Southwest, coming from pretty far back from post position 13. Now, he's one that doesn't have to come from miles behind. He is a closer, but he does have some running style versatility. He doesn't have to come from out of it. But I think post position dictated their tactics in his last couple. They just wanted to get over to the rail, save some ground, and then try to make a late move. Now he has a good post. I think he will come from off the pace, but he probably won't come from as far back. And if he can avoid the traffic problems that he found in the Rebel, he could be interesting. American Pioneer, number 5, he's 8 to 1. This one, he has some tactical speed. I liked him in his maiden win last time. He looked good. That was at Oaklawn on March 19th. He was 2nd earlier on this meet, behind Dazzling Gem, who's in this race in January in a maiden race. So he's shown some promise, but he's lightly raced. He's facing some tough seasoned rivals in here. He should stalk the pace under Rafael Bejarano, but I think his lack of seasoning could be his undoing in this spot. Unbridled Outlaw, number 6, 10 to 1 morning line. This one has early pressing speed for trainer Dale Romans. He was 2nd on March 19th in his last race against Lesser Company. The show finisher was a next out winner. Now against Stakes Company, he hasn't been able to step it up and kick it in high gear yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go to the front. We have multiple horses that are capable of showing speed, but none of them always go to the lead. Unbridled Outlaw is one that likes to go out close to the lead. Dazzling Gem, Cupid, Gray Sky, Gettysburg on the outside. All of those horses have the capability of going out there, but maybe Unbridled Outlaw, who's drawn inside of all of those horses, is going to be the one that's going to be hustled along early and try to go wire to wire. Dazzling Gem, number 7, he's 12 to 1 morning line. This one has some early pressing versatility. He was 3rd in the Louisiana Derby last time. He beat today's rival Gray Sky at Oaklawn Park on February 13th, and he beat American Pioneer on January 18th at Oaklawn. He'll probably stalk the pace and try to pounce in the stretch. Whitmore, number 8, he's 9 to 2 morning line. This one second in the Rebel Stakes from post position 12 with that wide trip. He was also second in the Southwest Stakes. He's actually 0 for 3 around 2 turns, but he's run very competitively in these Oaklands prep races. Number line, Luna Del Loco. This one, 30-1 morning line. He has some stalking speed, but he was 13th in the Southwest, 4th in the Smarty Jones in his stakes efforts at Oaklawn Park. He's probably going to be outmatched in here. Number 10, your morning line favorite, Cupid, at 2-1 for trainer Bob Baffert. He's lightly raced. He's 2 for 2 around 2 turns. He was first in the Rebel Stakes. He went right out to the front and played Catch Me If We Can. Nobody could catch him that day. In his maiden win around 2 turns on the West Coast, he stalked the pace. So he has some running style versatility, and with post 10, and as I mentioned, some others that may go shooting out to the front, he could end up stalking the pace in here. Gray Sky, number 11, 30-1 morning line. He was 6th in the Rebel, 5th in the Smarty Jones for trainer D. Wayne Lucas. He's one, I wouldn't be shocked if he snuck into the Superfecta. It would be a surprise if he won, but he's been competitive enough in those stakes races at Oaklawn that you could use him underneath. Gettysburg, number 12 for Todd Pletcher, rounds out the field, 6-1 morning line. As I said, early pressing speed on this one. He was second in a Sunland Stakes race last time out. He was 5th in the Sam Davis prior to that. From that outside post, you almost think that they might have to go to secure some early position. And if nobody really wants to lead, maybe if they really sent him from the outside, he could be a pace factor. I think he's going to be a pace factor, but I think that's about it. I think it's a tough road for him out there from post 12 with some other quality early pressing types drawn inside of him. Now, how we're going to play this one, I'm going to make Sudden Breaking News my top choice. I think he could bounce back with a much better post and a better trip. He proved in the Southwest that he's very talented, and I think that if he doesn't get as far back and he is able to get that clean trip, which very well could happen from post 4, he could bounce back. Now, my second choice in here, I was torn between Cupid and Whitmore. I'm going to go with Cupid. Now, Whitmore did finish second to Cupid last time. He lost a lot of ground, and his sheets number was actually more than 3 lengths faster than Cupid. But as I mentioned, Whitmore is 0 for 3 around 2 turns, and he has more experience. Cupid is 2 for 2 around 2 turns, and he's versatile. And I just think that maybe he has a bit more upside. He doesn't need the lead, and Cupid will be my second choice. Whitmore is my third choice. And then Discreetness, number 1. And my live long shot in here is going to be number 1, Discreetness. He's drawn on the inside. They worked him from the gate last time out on April 9th. They want him to break better. He didn't have the greatest break in the Rebel Stakes, and I think that if he breaks well, he stalks the pace, saves all that ground on the inside, maybe he can sneak into the top 4 under John Court. This is how we're going to play this race. We're going to make a $16 win wager on number 4, Sudden Breaking News, a $6 exacta box, number 4, Sudden Breaking News, number 10, Cupid. A $3 exacta. We're going to put our top 2 horses on top. Number 4, Sudden Breaking News. Number 10, Cupid. We're going to put those 2 on top of number 1, Discreetness. Number 8, Whitmore. So that's $16 to win. That $6 exacta box with Sudden Breaking News and Cupid. And then the $3 exacta with Sudden Breaking News and Cupid over Discreetness and Whitmore. Total wagers of $40. And that'll wrap up our Road to the Derby videos this year. And next, we're going to be doing another stakes race from around the country next week for our video. And we'll also start to do some Kentucky Derby. We'll look at the horses that are coming up to the Derby, a preview of the Derby. After we know the field, we're getting to the end. This is the last points race. And once we know the field, we'll start to do Kentucky Derby preview videos and start to look at some of these contenders. Until next week, good luck at the races.